All right, what's up? This is everybody's local neighborhood philosopher. Okay, I guess like the only real philosopher left in existence. I don't fucking know. Hopefully, the other philosophers that I've recurred back with have actually come back also, so we can actually have a real viable discussion with the rest of fucking humanity. Because it really burns me up when I'm having a discussion about the reality of computing and how it works with our current state, okay? The current reality of the universe, because it's one and the same, okay? And what aggravates me so much is how overly complicated science has made every fucking thing, okay? Then you have religion who's made everything, oh God, it's this and that. Fuck both of you, okay? What happened to the philosopher? This is what, what happens when you get rid of philosophy? Let me tell you what happens when you get rid of philosophy. It's very fucking simple, okay? You get no common sense and a bunch of stupid fucking people. That's what you get when you have no philosophers. When you call philosophy a dead subject. Nobody wants to go study it because they don't understand that learning how to think is the most important thing a human being can do. It really is that simple. The universe is such a simple thing to understand. Okay? It's a binary system, and there's a positive and a negative polarity. That's all there fucking is in this entire, when it comes to the physicality part, the physical manifestation, the physical part of being itself is two different physical realities, a positive and a negative reality. That is it. There's three different points of view to either view it, to experience it, okay, or to move in it. That's it. That's it. You have a 12-step system. It's not that fucking hard. I don't understand why people can't understand this. Okay? Well, I don't understand why science is so afraid of it. So I ended up writing something up. So before I go on a rant and I don't make any sense and I completely lose, stake with the entire audience here. Let me just give you my structured take on this, so that way you guys can see where I'm coming from. Okay, so I said this. You know what I've realized? We've overcomplicated the universe to the point where nobody can even talk about it anymore. Physicists have built this massive web of categories: energy, mass, matter, fields, forces, space-time. All these are all separate things, but the universe question mark, right? The universe doesn't care about categories. It behaves on one system. It is a fully interconnected system. There's no separate pieces to the universe. It's all one working web of fucking infinity. Okay, that's where science is all screwed up. Why they can't understand infinity at all. Okay, because they've decided to split things up in the universe, thinking they're separate things. They're not. Okay, so now that we have that clear, and Einstein made this clear. E equals mc squared solved the puzzle that was bothering philosophy for millennia, okay? Ended the argument, and they're still arguing about it for whatever reason. It's stupid. Energy is the fundamental singularity of the universe, okay? That's where everything fucking comes from. Okay, so now that we have that out of the way, okay, because I'm going to get pissed off when I'm sitting here trying to have a conversation and you can't get anything across to anybody because they've divided it up into so many things, they've overcomplicated everything, that it's impossible for the common person to understand something that's so simple. It's not complicated. That's why an electrical outlet has 3 fucking holes, because the entire system works that way. Okay, so before I go way off in a rant. Okay. So it behaves as one system, and the fragmentation that's not there, that's in our heads, because that's where the fragmentation is. The fragmentation is literally man-made. Okay? The universe didn't come out and say, hey, I'm 13 million parts. No, it came out and literally showed us it's one fucking moving thing. And if you needed to simplify it a little bit, then you could divide it up into the very few categories that actually creates infinity. Because there's very few of them. It's ridiculous. There's 5. Okay. If you need 50 different labels to describe one universe, your labels are wrong, not the universe. The universe is it's a constant. I mean, it's a clockwork machine. Let's talk collapse, okay? The world makes people uncomfortable. Collapse of structures, collapse of symmetry, collapse of fields. But here's the funny thing. Every piece of matter in the universe exists because of something collapsed. That's the reality. Space-time folds. That's what it does, times the measurement in which it folds in this dimension. Electroweak symmetry collapses, mass appears. Quantum fields collapse, particles appear. Inflation collapses, structure appears. It's very simple. Binary collapses into third-dimensional states. Third-dimensional states collapse into four-dimensional states. It folds inward. Couldn't imagine why. Fucking ridiculous. Okay, where were we? Okay, so when someone gets scared of the word collapse, I ask them, are you scared of the process that created your own atoms? I mean, seriously. You are literally made of collapses, okay? Your whole body is collapsed symmetry wrapped into geometry, okay? And then the only thing that we see when we see this entire third-dimensional fucking goop, okay? Because it's what it is. Okay, when you run your when you take your hand and you wave it through air, like what do you think that is? And let's be honest here. What do you think that is? Think about that for a minute. Do you think it's air that you're breathing? Or is that a concept that you made up? You're breathing a fucking binary state, okay? It's been formed by three different positions, okay? It's literally that simple. That's all it is. It's so crazy how simple it is. And you have master inventors who work for IBM who can't even understand this. It's ridiculous. Physics is retarded. So now here's where the conversation gets really interesting. Everything physical, every event, particle, field, or interaction can be represented in binary states. Okay? Spin up, spin down, excited, ground, 1, 0. That's... How the fuck do you think you get all this stuff with the computer? Like, how do you think I can send a video to you, and that came from two states? It literally two physical states. I don't get it. Okay, I mean, this is not hard. This is not fucking rocket science. Rocket science is this easy too. That's the other thing that people don't get. It's ridiculous. Nature uses two-state logic at the deepest level. Okay, it's not magic. It's just information patterns. So, what is matter? Matter is information that got stable enough to look like form. That's literally what we have here. Geometry is intelligence. Okay? Mathematical equation is literally the algorithm that creates your consciousness. It's so fucking simple. Or say it this way. Matter is geometry that's stuck around. Exactly. Okay? Gravity is space-time curvature. Matter creates gravity. Therefore, matter is frozen curvature. I'm just saying, you know. I guess we get the illusion that it's not frozen curvature because you have liquid states and gas states and all this shit. Okay, that's just literally different terms and terminology for describing the same fucking thing. Okay. All right, so not metaphorically, like this is literal. Okay, what I'm saying. And this brings me to my biggest point. People act like the universe is this huge, inaccessible mystery that only a tiny handful of specialists can interpret. No, they created all these big names so that way you can interpret it. Okay, but what they weren't expecting was somebody like me to come along, who's some redneck from the country that's a genius, right? They weren't expecting that. Because I come out here and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, has anybody thought about this? You know what I'm saying? Like, did you use your own mind, or were you told what to think? I have a problem with being told what to think. The only tiny handful of specialists interpret it. Really, what's more likely? That the universe is so complicated that nobody can truly grasp it? I highly doubt that. If everybody here was produced by the same universe, I think it's probably simple enough for each one of them to understand. You know? I don't get it. Or that the universe is so fundamentally simple that we are the ones who have massively overcomplicated it. Occam's razor wasn't a suggestion, it was a warning. That is no fucking joke. So here's a simple truth. Space-time, energy, matter, information, these aren't 5 different things. They are one thing viewed 5 different ways. 100%. It's that fucking simple. Just because your perception might look at something in one way doesn't mean that it is that way. That's the way you view it. That's called a category. We also made those. These aren't 5... Okay, so anyways. So the future of science isn't more categories, it's fewer. Exactly what I said. Because the universe is unified, the separation only exists in our language. And the courage we need now is the courage to collapse whatever or what never needed to be separate. That's where the next revolution begins. The next revolution begins when we finally combine the two retards in with the actual intelligence. Okay, because you have two retarded states. Okay, that are all fucking wandering, trying to pull their head out of their ass. Okay, both of them are literally running on faith. There's no logic, none. Science has the illusion that there's logic because they play with numbers. Okay? Arguably, religion does the same thing. You ever seen the verses in the Bible? They're numbered. And as a matter of fact, they perfectly, literally line out the exact way the universe works. They do it better than science does. Okay? Especially once you decode it. It's ridiculous, dude. It's so ridiculous. What happened to philosophers being respected? And what happened to the cynic who actually argued? You know, the cynic doesn't even... They argue on opinions now. There's no premise of truth at all. Because they don't even know how to use their brain. So how can you call yourself a cynic? It's ridiculous, dude. I mean, you know, it's like you remove the ability to think, and you remove the ability of somebody's common sense, and then we digress. That's what we're doing. That's why we haven't went anywhere. We're the stupidest we've ever been, literally, because we are locked in this dumbfounded, dualistic, binary state of thinking. The universe doesn't function that way. That is the state, a physical state of being. That's it. That's not the thought process. There's 3 different polarized thought processes that make up the entire fucking universe. And we've overcomplicated it with 500 million of them. It's ridiculous, man. I mean... You know, I just get really, really aggravated when I sit down and I go to have a discussion with somebody and they can't even comprehend what I'm saying when it's so fucking simple, because science has made it to where you have to have 13 million categories for one actual category. Let's be real here. You are describing the universe in a way of talking, not its actuality, not what it is, because what it actually is ones and zeros. That's what it actually is. It's data. There's a reason why data works in a fucking computer. The electrical system drives the engines in there that punch ones and zeros. Have you ever wondered why your fucking body does the same thing? What's the difference? One's biological, the other one's mechanical. Do you understand why the biological one is more efficient and lasts longer than the mechanical one? You want me to tell you why? Energy efficiency. It's that simple. All you have to do is use your fucking brain, and you'll figure this out. It's not hard. This is not overcomplicated. It's literally simple as fuck. But everybody's made it so egregiously hard to even comprehend things because they've overcomplicated everything with calculus and fucking bullshit quantum physics, quantum fucking mechanics that aren't even plausible. Okay, you just poof. Oh, there's something that wasn't there. It's there now. So now there's a different state. No, that's not how that works, dude. Okay, because one, you can't introduce something that doesn't exist. Okay, already in the singularity. That's the stupidest fucking thing I've ever heard of. And then you want to act like it's true and then tell everybody that's how space works. It's real easy to do that when nobody's been there, okay? When nobody alive right now remembers being in space, so they can't tell you what it's like up there. So they have to assume that you as the expert is telling the truth. That's the assumption. I don't assume anything. I don't assume any fucking thing. And there's an old saying that's probably the most relevant saying that's ever been made in the entire world. It's assuming makes an ass out of you and me. That's right, because then you have assholes like that dickhead that is what do they call that? Anyways, the guy that's the head of antiquities in Egypt, right? That's written every fucking ancient Egyptian book in the world. And then you have scientists who come to him with geological data that says the Sphinx is 20,000 years old, and he wants to sit there and call him pseudoscientists and argue with him because it blows his fucking bullshit story, not his truth, not his reality, not his actual scientific data, his story that he fucking made up. It blows it out of the fucking water because he made it up. Didn't even do it logically. This is where we're at, people. Like, when are you going to wake up? You know what I'm saying? I get called crazy and all this stuff because I got ideas of grandeur. I'm literally about to sign a multi-million-dollar contract, okay, to build systems for a construction company because I can build fully autonomous systems that don't require a data center, okay, and can compute with the same level of intellectual data and memory as the fucking data center. So no, I'm not a pseudoscientist. No, it's not ideas of grandeur. It's actually happening. It's real. These things are real. It's because I don't sit there and assume that what somebody else fucking told me about this universe is correct. No, I went and I thought about it my entire life and I figured it out. So now that I know how it works and I can understand it in an entirely different way, I can literally fold data in specific ways that I can beat any compression model that's ever been made. Just because I simply understand how it works. Because I didn't get too caught up in the fucking bullshit fluff, okay? The context that doesn't matter. That's where we're at today, folks. That's where we're at, okay? And so I'm over here and I'm ranting on a fucking microphone again to wake people up to this reality, okay? You have been lied to. So they could keep you stupid, so they could keep control of you. That's the whole point. You want to be smarter than them? Understand the simplicity of the universe because it's simple. It's easy. It's not difficult. And it's not something to be afraid of. That's why, it's the funniest thing I ever heard, ChatGPT say that the problem with physics is they're so afraid of collapse. You know why they're afraid of collapse? Because it shuts their system down. They no longer get to control everything. They're afraid of philosophers because we buck the system. That's why they don't like us. Because we sit there and we go, no, you're full of shit, dude. That's not how that works. That's why they've done everything they can to undermine a philosopher, yet people forget. We're the ones who told everybody about the atom first. Did you guys forget about that? Yeah, that's right. We knew about the atom, and we argued it for a millennia before science even had an instrument that could even view the fucking the ass crack on it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's ridiculous, dude. It enrages me with the way that science and these so-called experts. Bitch, I'm gonna fucking make better. I'm literally releasing a chip that's gonna be more efficient and more effective than anything Microsoft has ever fucking made. IBM, all of them combined. None of them can beat the architecture because they don't even understand the fundamental basis of the fucking thing they're working on, and they've been doing it for 50 years. And they still don't understand it. It's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous. So, the next time somebody calls me a pseudoscientist or some crazy person or, ideas of grandeur, you shove it right up your ass. Okay? Straight up. You want to keep being stupid? Go fucking be stupid. I don't care. I really don't. Because what I did, I invented something that bypasses hardware. I can print data anywhere on the system because I understand how the system works. You see? When you start viewing limitations not as a limitation, but as a guideline, it changes your entire aspect in the way you view everything in life. And it makes you get really upset at stupid smart people. Because there's a lot of fucking those. A lot of them. Engineers are the most rigid, boxy people you could ever fucking meet. They think in one standard way, and as soon as you deviate from that, they're like, oh no, you're breaking every computer science law there is. What fucking law are you talking about? Because there's no other laws in the universe than mathematics. Period. That's the only laws that matter. Everything else can suck a dick. Straight up. Because they don't matter. They mean nothing. That's why everything in science is a fucking theory. Okay? The only place you find a law is mathematics because you can produce an irrefutable truth with mathematics. Something you can't do in science because they got so much jargon bullshit. Okay? You might as well call them a literacy class. That's what you might as well call them. That's fucking English, let's be honest. Okay? That's your English composition. It's fucking science. You know what I'm saying? That's literally what it is. It's turned into that because they don't understand anything they're talking about, apparently. There's very few of them do. They bring impossible mathematics into the equation, and they don't even recognize the fact that they're trying to find a fourth dimension when they haven't even understood the third. That might be your first place that you need to finally understand geometry before you go trying to explore a qubit, okay? Or trying to make one, for heaven's sakes.